guys, it's Bro You Whack, and Venture is going to be the next DPS hero released in Season 10. And on the surface, they might seem like a pretty simple hero. They like to eat rocks, and they like to kill things with their drill. But beyond this rock-loving archaeologist is a hero with so many layers to them that makes them a very simple hero to learn, but an extremely hard hero to master. Like, just to give you an early example, Venture's burrow ability alone gives you 6 possible additional benefits that it doesn't tell you at all in-game. And that's why I'm not only going to be giving you a beginner's guide to get you on your way to mastering Venture, but also give you some additional tips to better maximize this hero and how to combo with them better. So without further ado, sit back and relax and grab your bowl of rock cereal and let's get started with Venture's beginner's guide. Now, like I said before, Venture's hero kit is very simple. You yeet rocks and you dig into the ground. There's not much to it, except that there is. Literally, there is so much to it. So I guess the first thing we can look at is going to be their main form of fire, and their only form of fire technically, which is their Smart Excavator. The Smart Excavator drill is a projectile weapon, and if you don't know the difference between a projectile and a hit scan gun, it marks where the bullet's going to go every single time, versus a projectile where it has a little bit of travel time. Now, the maximum damage you can get from the Smart Excavator is 80 damage, and while there's not necessarily any fall off range, there is splash damage that can give you minimum damage at 16 damage per rock. And the max range that you can shoot to get that maximum 80 damage is about 18 meters, but then once you get to 19 meters, that's when you start to get splash damage, and anywhere past 20 meters, you're not going to be doing any damage at all. Now, within the Smart Excavator, you will have a total of 8 rocks to yeet towards the enemy, and in between each rock that you shoot, there is a little bit of time, and the reload speed is pretty moderate at about 2 seconds or so. And well, actually, that's it when it comes to their Smart Excavator. Like I said before, Venture is a pretty simple here on the surface until we get to their abilities, which is going to be next after we talk about their passive ability, which is very important to know and understand. Explorer's Resolve is going to be Venture's passive ability that allows them to gain temporary shield whenever they use any ability. This includes their burrow ability, their drill dash ability, and also your ultimate, which some people forget is technically an ability. And I said that it's important to know how Explorer's Resolve works because this is when it gets really fun when it comes to Venture and using their abilities. Burrow is going to be the first ability that we look at because this is the most complex ability, not only in Venture's hero kit, but in the whole entire game. Now, Burrow is pretty self-explanatory because you burrow underground as Venture and you become invincible towards the enemy and also your allies. I'll explain more what I mean by that in a little bit, but to further explain Burrow, this does last for 5 seconds, and you do have a cooldown of 8 seconds after you burrow out of the ground. But it's crucial to know that it's not an instantaneous burrow. There is a little bit of time in between you activating the burrow ability and you actually becoming invincible underground. But once you activate Burrow, there are 6 secret additional benefits when using this ability. The first that is pretty obvious is that you gain a temporary 40 shield when you burrow as Venture, but the second thing that it grants you is an automatic reload to your drill gun. The third thing that it can do is that when you use your drill dash underground, it'll cut the cooldown of that 8-second ability to 4 seconds. The fourth thing that it can do is knock back enemies whenever you use your drill dash underground, and also do a little bit of damage. Not much though. The fifth thing is that whenever you have a negative effect such as Ana's Anti or Zenyatta's Discord Orb, you can burrow underground and it will cleanse it. However, you cannot cleanse a Cassie's Grenade or a Sombra's Hack because those 2 abilities actually prevent you from using your burrow ability as Venture, so just know that. And the 6th and final thing is that when you leap out of the ground, you can actually charge your leap similar to Baptiste's charge jump that can provide not only higher jumps, but more deadly attacks, a range from 55 damage from the smallest charge to 110 damage to the maximum charge. And that's everything that you need to know when it comes to burrowing with Venture. Like I said before, this hero is complex, and it gets even more complex with Drill Dash. So once again, another simple ability on the surface. You drill forward with Venture and you deal a hefty amount of damage. But how much damage exactly? Well, it can range from anywhere from 75 to 100 damage. And the range is determined based on how far away you are from the enemy, because if you make multiple drills into the enemy, you get the maximum damage of 100. But if you just barely barely touch the enemy, that's when you get the minimum 75 damage. And you can do damage to an enemy while you're underground, but it's only a measly 5 damage. You're mainly going to be drill dashing into the enemy underground if you want to knock them back. Now, drill dash does have an 8-second cooldown, but like I mentioned before, if you activate drill dash underground, it is cut to half to 4 seconds. But understand that you have to use drill dash underground. It's not like you can use it above ground and then burrow and then it'll be cut to 4 seconds. No, you have to activate it underground. And the travel time can also vary if you use drill dash above or underground. Above, you can travel about 11 meters or so, but underground, you can travel about 15 meters or so, which I didn't even know until I made this video. But here's my favorite part about drill dash. You can use it as a movement ability and drill upward with venture. You can drill into the sky. You have a leap ability with venture. Like, my God, this hero is just so cool, but also so complicated. There's so many layers to this hero and their abilities. Oh yeah, did I also forget to mention that their melee is not just a melee? Most heroes in Overwatch don't have their melee name, but that's why Venture's so cool, because their melee's name is called Clobber. Come on now, that's so cool. This extends not only the time, but also the damage of Venture's melee. It uses the drill in hand, and it provides a whopping 70 total damage. Compared to most heroes' melee damage, which is 40, that's insane. But one of my favorite parts about their melee is that it can hit multiple enemies. So it works kind of similar to Brigida's melee, but in my opinion, I think is a whole lot cooler. And the final thing to know is that you can cancel the melee if you don't want that extended time with everything besides their primary form of fire. But here is what you've all been waiting for: Venture's Earthquake ultimate ability. Officially known as their Tectonic Shock Ultimate, this sends out shockwaves that does damage to enemies in front of you. Once again, seems pretty simple, right? No, come on, you should know by now. Each shockwave does a total of 130 damage, and there are 4 total shockwaves in this ult. Now, this ultimate does last roughly about 10 seconds or so, but if you don't shoot all of your shockwaves, they will go away. Now, it might seem like the shockwaves will just continuously travel, but there is a max set distance of 25 meters. So you want to be close to the enemy, but not too close, because it does shoot in the form of a cone. This means you can hit multiple enemies, but it's a good idea to try to stand a little bit farther away from the enemy so that you can get the full cone distance. Now, while the ult might seem self-explanatory, I do want to point out that the ult can travel downstairs, it cannot travel past gaps, but it also can travel over ledges, sometimes depending on how high the ledge is. Just the best piece of advice I can tell you when using the ultimate is try to use it on flat ground so that you don't get confused on if it's going to continue to travel or not. But the final important thing to note about Venture's ultimate is that it will automatically reload all 8 of your rocks in Venture's drill gun. Now, that's the basic rundown of how Venture's hero kit works, but I did want to give you some tips and tricks on how you can better maximize this hero, because again, the combos is what really makes them not only fun, but effective. Now, when finding a combo for Venture, there's actually quite a few. Now, the first one I'm going to show you, this is in a perfect scenario where the enemy is not getting healed or anything like that. So first, you're going to burrow underground, go to an enemy, max jump charge out of the ground, shoot, then quick melee. Now, this will 100% kill a 250 HP squishy hero, even without using your drill. And the reason why I don't use my drill in this combo is because then I will use it to get back to my team to safety. But again, this is the perfect scenario. More than likely, the enemy is going to be getting healed, so here's a combo that I also find myself using a lot. So first, I'm going to burrow, drill underground right away. I'm going to dig a little bit, and then when I find the enemy I want to attack, I'm going to fully charge out of the ground. Then I'm going to shoot, instantly drill into them, and then if they still are not dead, I'm going to quick melee them. And the reason why I use these combos in this exact order is because I can get my drill back by the time I'm going to leap out of the ground, and I want to use my underground drill dash right away to try to displace an enemy in an exact area that I want to attack them. The only problem with this combo is that you're kind of stuck in the enemy back line because you just used your drill, and now you have 8 seconds to wait for not only your burrow and also your drill. So you really got to be confident with getting a kill and that your team's going to push with you. But even if you're not confident with your own team, realize that you're going to have 325 HP because you're going to gain 75 temporary shield. So even if you don't get the kill and you got to walk back to your team, well, you got extra HP to get you there. But that is everything that you you need to know when first starting off with Venture. And if you're watching this during Season 9 or even after Season 10 and onward, hopefully I helped you in your journey when learning this awesome new hero. But until next time, I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching more Overwatch 2 videos to come, and bye.